In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, there are cursed spirits and users roaming across the planet, and these curses are the anomalies of this world and must be taken care of by professionals. And these professionals are Jujutsu sorcerers, and they come from an organization to handle these curses/anomalies, and they are called the Jujutsu Society. You got the likes of Yuji Itadori, Satoru Gojo, Megumi Fushiguro, the former member of the Jujutsu Society, Suguro Geto. These are just a few to name that the organization have on their list to deal with these issues. But what are curses exactly? Curses are a race of spiritual beings that is invisible to humans, but where they come from exactly is the human themselves due to their negative emotions. Everyone on Earth emits cursed energy, which means that the cursed race has existed for as long as humans do, and there have been stories of curses and sorcerers dating back over thousands of years ago. Of course, not all sorcerers use their gift for the greater good. There's bound to be an evil sorcerer, and they are labeled as curse users, and they also existed as long as sorcerers have. And what is a sorcerer exactly are people who can control and possess curse energy at a high level, and is born to use curse techniques, and that is at a professional level. And there are exceptions for those that don't possess a curse technique or even control their curse energy, such as Maki Zenin, who uses curse tools as an alternative. In the world of JJK, there are two training educational facilities in Japan, Tokyo and Kyoto, and that's where they are taught and learn to use their abilities to exorcise cursed spirits. But not all can become a Jujutsu sorcerer, because becoming one requires to face constant danger, have high willpower, and put their life on the line for the sake of humanity. So that's why some people who uses Jujutsu prefers to become a curse user, because it's just an easier life to live in. And that is pretty much a simplified way for me to explain the world of JJK. And of course, I didn't get to explain most of the characters and clans, but I'll get onto that soon. So, imagine the world of JJK collided with the SCP universe. How well can they fare? What class can they deal with? Can they manage the Foundation? What SCPs could they contain? Two completely different worlds, yet so similar. The major difference between the two is that the JJ Society is much smaller than the SCP-Foundation. As far as I know, they don't really have a variety of jobs compared to the SCP-Foundation. There's probably a few researchers looking up what these curses are and put them down the assignment for the sorcerers to deal with. They don't really contain curses or anomalies and store them in the facility. Maybe objects such as the Suguna fingers, but overall they exterminate the curses, which is going to be a bit of a challenge when it comes to these SCPs, such as 682, which I'll explain some answers that the JJK world could use. SCP-682 is a Keter class SCP, which is the most dangerous of them all. 682 is a giant reptile creature that is a menace to everyone. It's fast, it can regenerate, and is extremely smart. They put 682 in a small chamber filled with hydrochloric acid to the point where it's incapacitated, and its regeneration was still strong enough to keep it alive. So, is there really a way to eliminate 682? It just all depends on who is writing the story, and that's the beauty of the SCP-Foundation. It's not all connected into one big story, which it would be a bit easier to remember, but there are thousands of articles to go through, and it's continuing to develop as we speak, making new stories, taking different turns. But to answer if there's an article that 682 has been eliminated, there is. In the Daybreak Souls Crew Planet Canon, they feature the death of SCP-682. In that world, there is no such thing as immortality. If everything can die, then anything can be made to die. Anything can be killed, and 682 is no exception. So the knowledge we have for 682 is that it is tough to eliminate, and there are a few ways that the JJ Society could do. First, they have to accept the fact that 682 is unkillable and must be contained. One method is a bit extreme, and that is summoning Maharaga to quickly subdue SCP-682. While they are similar in terms of abilities, adapting and growing stronger, Maharaga has the early game advantage, since non-curse users cannot see Shikigamis or cursed spirits, which 682 will eventually adapt and be able to develop curse energy or the sight to see Maharaga and face him head on. Another method that follows up is trapping 682 inside the prison realm. The prison realm is a special grade cursed object that is capable of sealing anyone inside of an inescapable pocket dimension, regardless if you're a curse user or not, as long as they stay at a 4-meter radius for about a minute. Could this work on 682? Probably, but this is one of SCP out of the thousands I need to deal with. What about groups of interest? Which ones could the JJ Society could handle, or perhaps work with? One group that I found that is common with the JJ Society is the GOC, the Global Occult Coalition. They are a group that basically aims to protect humanity and that they would eliminate every single SCP that exists. Unlike the Foundation that would contain and learn more about these SCPs, the GOC would get rid of them as soon as possible. From what I found about the JJ Society rules and their code is that they aim to protect humanity from curses, and that the higher-ups in the JJ Society are from the JJ headquarters, and they are a division of the Japanese government that is the highest body governing sorcerers. And they are old school from how they run things down, because, I mean, the reason why they still stand is because of Gojo's existence. Without him, I doubt the society would function or last long. Gojo is one of one, being born with both 6 eyes and the Limitless technique. The Six Eyes gave Gojo enhanced perception to see the flow of cursed energy and can ultra precisely control his own cursed energy, which helps him utilize the limitless technique, which brings the concept of infinity to reality, allowing Gojo to manipulate and distort space at will. To keep it simple, Gojo has a barrier surrounding him, stopping anything that comes at him. Gojo could possibly solo a lot of these SCPs if he could, but what matters is the canon that fits best for him and the rest of the JJ Society. Before I get into that, another groups of interest the JJ Society could handle themselves is against the Chaos Insurgency. The Chaos Insurgency is essentially a terrorist group that opposes against the Foundation, or that's what the Foundation is trying to tell you. It can also depend on the canon and the author whether if the Foundation is part of the good guys, or that the CI is full-blown evil group that seeks global domination, or a rebellion that stands up against the corrupted Foundation. But regardless, the Chaos Insurgency lacks resources against the Foundation. Now it's time to go over which of the SCP canon would fit best for the JJ Society, and there is one canon that really caught my eye, and that is the Third Law canon. The Third Law treats magic as a scientific discipline. Their magic is called thaumaturgy, and is studied, categorized, and treated like a branch of physics. You can think of it like its cursed energy from JJK. It can be refined, channeled, or even weaponized. The types of SCPs within the canon they end up facing would be the likes of SCP-303, the Doorman, who hides behind doors and causes anxiety, or SCP-106, the Old Man, who corrodes anything it touches, fades through walls, and drags people inside a pocket dimension. Reminds me of Mahito in a sense. But overall, could the Jujutsu Society manage the SCP-Foundation? Most likely not. The society as a whole was not fair or balanced before Gojo was born. Techniques were everything. If you didn't inherit a powerful one like the Six Eyes or 10 Shadows, you were discarded or treated like dirt. Maki's whole backstory proves this. The death rate for low and mid-level sorcerers were extremely high. Think of this era as a almost feudal, strict orders, zero complaints, die if necessary. Gojo didn't fix everything, but he cracked the system, and that was enough to change the game. I'd say they do fairly well as a division for the SCP-Foundation to contact to deal with a complicated magic-related issue. Sure, the society is going to be treated as an anomaly, but that is the best case scenario for their survival. But what do you guys think? What canon could the JJ Society stick around in? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.